For 18 summers of my life, I was engaged in the incredibly transformative experience of Sleepaway Jewish Summer Camp. Over the course of that time, we can snaps for that. Over the course of that time, I was a camper, a counselor in training, a counselor, and eventually various roles on the upper administrative senior staff. Camp is where I met my best friends. It's where my wife and I fell in love. It's the reason I wanted to become a rabbi. Anyone who has been to camp before knows that there's something special about sharing space with your peers. And even though it's only for a few weeks each summer, the experience of living and breathing the daily rhythms of a communal schedule has a lasting effect on how we develop as individuals beyond that camp framework. Each camp has its own unique traditions, and my camps are no different. We begin our days together offering gratitude by singing and dancing through Modeh Ani. We pray Birkat Hamazon after each meal to better understand that the food we enjoy is truly a blessing. And we have nightly tefillah and weekly Shabbat services. And in addition to the daily and weekly Jewish programming, my camp has a shtick for practically every moment of the schedule, which helps to get the camp community excited for what's to come. When we hear the name of our camp, we respond accordingly. Camp Hess Kramer, CHK, or Gindling Hilltop Camp. When there's someone on the microphone instructing us about our upcoming schedule and they say the words announcements, I tell you, to this day, it takes everything I have in my body to not break out into the full announcements song. Announcements, ANNOUNCEMENTS. Announcements, announcements, announce. And it goes on, trust me, it goes on. We have a cheer for when someone says the word tefillah. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Tefillah. We have camp characters and specific cheers for celebrating birthdays, for when a camper loses their tooth, for the start of our beach day so that we can bring out the sun. And we need special characters and cheers to help light our campfire before our weekly talent show. And obviously, these cheers never work the first 2 times we ever try them. No, we're never loud enough. We have to all stand up as a community and really give it our all on that 3rd time. And we all know it's coming, but there really is a sense of magic when it finally works. For my 18 years at camp, 2 experiences stand out as being the epitome of this magic. The first is Siyum, which is how we end each of our busy and active days at camp. No matter how each of us spent our day, we end all together, putting our arms around one another, praying the words of Shema and Hashkivenu, these prayers offering words of unity, asking for God's protection throughout the night. It wasn't until I was older and in rabbinical school that I realized that Siyum was not something my camps came up with. This is connected to the commandment of reciting the Shema when we rise up and when we lie down. Our sages drew inspiration from this commandment and over many years created the evening ritual of Kriyat Shema al-Hamita, the bedtime Shema. The rabbis recognized that for themselves and for the people in their communities, the darkness the night brought raised questions of the nature of the soul, caused people to fear the unseeable unknown. Wanting protection against negative thoughts and evil spirits, the rabbis created a nighttime ritual that one could recite, a bedtime lullaby, compiled of psalms and prayers, utilizing themes of serenity and protective shelter. For our camp community, Siyum is grounding. As we hold each other swaying and harmonizing under the stars, we're reminded that we're part of something bigger. And we're given this gift to recognize that every night we spend at camp. And now I sing Siyum to my daughter. Every night before I put her to bed. Of course, this brings me right back to camp and floods me with so many emotions of being there with my friends in that special place. And now it connects me to her. And it reminds me that she is a part of something bigger. Speaking of putting kids to bed, the other magical camp experience I had to participate in was when I was on staff. Every night after the kids go to bed, staff attends after hours, and here we debrief the day. We go over the next day's schedule and programming, and before we break for the evening to enjoy staff snack, we would engage in the passing of the couche. This is the couche. This is a couche. This is not the couche, but on the surface, this is just a little toy rubber ball that's really fun to play with. Like, really fun. But for any staff member at Gindling Hilltop Camp, this is an honor. At the end of our staff meeting, we save time to pass the couche. The person who has the couche stands up, offers some anonymous words to another staff member, words of gratitude or praise. For example, I have been so impressed watching this person with their kids this week. They have a pretty tough cabin, and the ways in which they're making each camper begin to feel more comfortable here at camp has been amazing to watch. Tonight, I'm giving the couche to, and the couche gets passed. The staff usually hug each other, and the passing continues each night of camp until everyone on staff has received the couche at least once. And the last person who receives the couche that summer actually holds onto it throughout the year and brings the couche back the following summer to begin the cycle of gratitude anew. If you've ever worked in a professional Jewish setting, you have definitely heard someone say, "Let's make it more like camp." Most of the time, they mean, let's make it fun. But I believe that what makes camp magical is the way that camp elevates each and every moment. Camp doesn't do this on its own, though. After all, it's just a bunch of buildings in an open space, often in a natural setting. The magic of camp is in the repetition of the schedule and the intentionality infused in each activity. Camp invites the individual to participate in and even help to create the moment and then become invested in the outcome. These moments of cheering, singing, camp character goofiness, praying, gratitude, what makes these work is that they are more than just moments. These are rituals. Rituals exist in some form in every human society and culture. The word ritual is often defined as a correct performance or doing something in a very specific order. And because of this formalized structure, rituals are often associated with religion. As humans, we want to celebrate and honor various life cycle moments: birth, coming of age, marriage, death. As Jews, we frame these and many other moments by linking them to our traditional and ever-evolving narratives, and we imbue these experiences with uniquely Jewish metaphors and symbols. Our calendars turn, seasons change, holidays come back around to be celebrated. And our sages taught, Hafoch ba v'hafoch ba decholeva, turn it over again, for everything you need is right there. The power of ritual comes not just in the one-time celebration, though. Rather, it's the patterned and repeated nature of that performance that allows a one-time marking of a moment to become ritualized. Torah teaches us to share the words and rituals of our tradition with the next generation, to bind mezuzot on our doorposts, to recite the Shema when we rise up and when we lie down, retell the story of the time that God brought us out of Egypt, to remember and keep Shabbat. In his succinct and profoundly spiritual offering, the Sabbath, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel encouraged us not to forget that it's not a thing that lends significance to a moment. It's the moment that lends significance to things. And while these specific moments of enacted ritual are powerful, the ritual itself does not exist in isolation. Lee Schmidt, professor of religion at Princeton University, says that Jews make Judaism and uniquely express their Jewish identities when they send New Year's greeting cards, when they shop and cook for Passover, when they search for the right outfit for a B'nai Mitzvah. Schmidt suggests that the real Jewish ritual is in all of the preparations leading up to the experience. Inviting guests, shopping, trying on, kneading, and shopping. Likewise, the rituals include the events that come after. Cleaning up, writing down memories, adding photographs to an album. For so long, we've been taught that there's a separation between the sacred and the profane, a difference between the religious and the secular, that somehow a synagogue is holier than our homes. And yet, amidst a global pandemic, so many of us were able to experience profoundly sacred moments in our homes with our families. Moments that we would have never been able to replicate here in this building. Casper ter Kuile, author of The Power of Ritual and co-creator of the podcast Harry Potter and the Sacred Text, he speaks of ritual as offering 4 different connections. Connecting with self, connecting with others, connecting with nature, connecting with the transcendent. These connections can happen anywhere. At the beach, watching a movie, learning in a classroom, enjoying a delicious meal, sitting with a loved one, belonging to a Jewish community. And yet, too often, we are the ones who are placing a stumbling block in our own ways. We never really give ourselves a chance to connect. Our lives are filled with so many activities that are ripe for ritual. Think about something that you do regularly. Walk the dog, read a book, spend time in your garden. Now imagine how meaningful it might be to create a ritualized practice for this experience. Creating an intention, asking yourself, what am I inviting into this moment? Bringing the moment to your attention to be fully present, no distractions. Making time and space for repetition. Recognizing the importance of returning to this practice again and again. Intention, attention, repetition. When we tune out moments of sacred opportunity, we miss out on our chance to connect to anything spiritual. And it might feel strange at first to ritualize something seemingly unremarkable, but if we believe what Vietnamese monk and teacher Thich Nhat Hanh taught, then the simple act of eating an orange can become miraculous. If you don't know how to begin ritualizing these moments in your daily routine, this is where we can borrow from our tradition. We know how to perform Jewish rituals because of our time in Jewish communities. We light candles. We wear specific clothes. We speak words to mark a moment. We offer blessings of gratitude. These acts only became traditional because they spoke to individuals and communities over generations and continue to speak to us today. When a ritual works, we know it. We feel it. Ronald Grimes, ritual theorist and author, speaks about rituals not dwelling in a literal somewhere. They exist in that moment when they are enacted, and then they disappear. But when they're effective, their traces remain in the heart, in the memory, in the mind, in text, in photographs, descriptions, social values, and in the marrow, the source of our lifeblood. We know that there's power in ritual. We're all here today because we believe in the power of this ritual. Beginning a new year with a clean slate, reflecting on the year that was, looking ahead to who we might become, dressing in white, hearing the sound of the shofar. The calendar cycle brings the work of the season back into focus. But if we don't have the intention to change, then the opportunities this holiday season offer will slip right through our grasp. We already have everything we need to elevate moments in our daily lives, to transform the rhythms of our schedules into sacred practices. Everyday moments can be the sacred ground upon which we build and rebuild our spiritual practice. Writer Annie Dillard teaches that how we spend our days is how we spend our lives. So let us fill our lives with intentionality. Let us grow our awareness for how we connect to ourselves and everything beyond us. Let us find meaning each and every day. Shana Tova.